Right, good afternoon everybody. Welcome to Stourbridge. This is the final of the BAFA Junior Under-19 Division 2. We've had two semi-finals this morning. Northeast Academy beating Ipswich Cardinals 21-12, and the Black Country Vipers beating Chester Romans 40-0. So that means this game is the third place playoff. There will be a 1 minute silence. Let's just wait for that. Okay, the 1 minute silence there was for the recent sad loss of Ipswich Cardinals owner Ralph Alexander. He died about a fortnight ago. An integral part of this team for many, many years. The big loss to British American football. It's always hard to say these words, but you know, life goes on. We have to move on, and I'm sure he would want the lads to play to the best of their ability today, and I'm sure they will. I mean, it was a close game against the Northeast Academy, so I don't see any reason why this one shouldn't be a close affair as well. So here we go. It looks like we're ready to go. We are joined today. Our regular commentators of Jonathan Rooney and Craig Lenihan are otherwise engaged. So we're joined by the multi-talented, bus driving, right tackle for the Vikings, and star commentator Howard Snaith. Welcome, Howard.
Thank you, Mick.
You thought you'd try another time?
Yeah, one more go.
We didn't scare you on the first opportunity?
No. Back
Okay.
for more.
Well, we've both done our extensive research regarding the rules. So
Yeah.
any queries, I'm coming to you as the main man.
Thank you. I'll pass them on to someone else and I'll let you know what the answer is.
Well, as a player, of course, you know all the rules, don't you?
Of course, yes.
The one thing you would know is the personal foul.
I'm not familiar with that one, Mick.
No?
No, not familiar with that one.
Right. You're not seeing it with your teammates?
No, not this season.
Okay. So it looks like we're ready to go. So 7v7 is played on a shorter pitch. Place the ball on the 5-yard line to start and need to make it past halfway in 4 downs. No special teams. The ball's simply handed over to the other team who starts on their own 5-yard line. So it looks like we're almost ready to go.
Yeah, it looks like we're just waiting on the down marker.
I've got to say it's an absolutely busting hot day. I think busting's the right word. We're in the West Midlands, isn't it? Busting. Was that a poor West Midlands accent? But
I'm glad you did it.
It is red hot. So
So the Chester Romans are going to start off with the ball here. Looks like a handoff to the running back. Good tackle. And there's a flag after the play.
Okay, the tackle was by number 27, Sam Andrew. Didn't see any particular foul play on that one. Howard, did you notice anything?
I mean, it was after the play was dead downfield. It looked like number 94 for Ipswich was in the backfield, so I'm assuming it'll be on
Ref's
him.
going to give us a call now. Yeah, you got it.
So it's unsportsmanlike conduct on number 94.
Didn't know you coached him, Howard. Okay, so early on there, a little bit of ill discipline. It's not going to help.
Well, we watched a little bit of the Chester Romans game in the semi-final. It seemed to have quite a few moments of ill discipline, especially in this heat make. I think it's going to be a key factor is just stay disciplined.
Yeah. It certainly doesn't help, does it? I mean, it's a summer sport, and it's nice when it's not windy or cold or wet, but too much sun can sometimes be difficult as well.
So now we've got a first down, and they've only got to make 5 or so yards.
Yeah.
So
And
number
it's
7's going to
just
keep
short,
it. And he's just short. So that's number 7. Freddie Long in a quarterback. I think Sid Wright, number 5, started the last game. He appeared to go off injured before the half. So I don't know whether I'm doing Freddie some injustice here by saying the backup quarterback is in for the Chester Romans.
Well, you would assume that the starting quarterback would be the first man up under normal circumstances.
But he read his blocks very well there, and he got a short gain, but that's all you need. Hands the ball off to number 11. Number 41, sorry. Dan Davenport. I think the good thing about this setup, Mick, is that a lot of players play both ways.
Yeah.
So, the running back there, he also plays linebacker, and it's good for their experience when they take it to a higher level.
Well, yeah, it's learning the fundamentals of the game in all positions, isn't it?
So Chester Romans going with a hard count there, number 66 jumping.
So that was 66, you say? I've got him.
66,
Yeah, I've got him listed down as a rookie. He's a rugby player, just come down this year.
Which I think is quite normal in this age category, isn't it, to get a lot of players over from different sports. It's going to be another carry here, and he's gobbled up at the line.
I think they've made it.
Very small gain there from the Chester Romans.
So this version of the game, we play 20 minutes per half, 18 minutes of which is a running clock, unless a timeout is called. And then the last 2 minutes, we play as per the usual rules.
Quarterback's going to keep it here. He's pushed out of bounds. It's again a good gain. He's read the blocks in front of him. He's taken off around the outside. That's number 7, Freddie Long.
So it's going to be third down.
So we're on third down now.
Ipswich sideline getting a little bit excited.
It's pitched off to number 39. It's a good tackle by number 35. A little bit of afters there.
I was just checking my roster. What did I miss there?
So Dylan Humphrey's taken the ball in. He's tackled by... Have you got a name on there?
No, there's no 35 on my roster, I'm afraid.
I'm not sure if it's his frustration of not breaking the tackle. We'll wait for a call from the referee. There's a lot of flags on the play.
So just while there's this little break in play, how important is it going to be? Ipswich have got considerably more players on the sideline than Chester. Chester look to have 14, 15 maybe tops. After 2 hard games in the sun, is that going to have a bearing?
Yeah, I think obviously Ipswich have got the advantage with the numbers, but it's not necessarily all about the numbers, how good the players are.
Of course, yeah.
I think it's good though for them to step up to the next level when they've got that many in their squad, especially if they want to get better in the next few years and move up to play 9v9.
Yeah. So didn't see a call there. Oh, here we go. So that's the second time Ipswich have been called for a unsportsmanlike or a personal foul.
Yes, that was unnecessary roughness. There was a holding on the Chester Romans player.
Yeah. But showing a little bit of a lack of discipline there, isn't it?
And again, the hard count catches them. It's number 52 this time that goes through.
So, messy game, messy start anyway.
The key thing here is though that the Chester Romans are back on first down. So they've got 6 or 7 yards to go. And again, number 7 keeps a hold of it, runs out to his right for a marginal gain, if any.
It's a loss on the play.
So we're on second down. The good thing about Chester Romans, they've done this hard count 2 or 3 times so far.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to make the D-line of Ipswich a little bit more hesitant.
Again there or not? Did they miss it? No.
Number 7 taking it in his own hands again. So he rolled out to the left, nothing was on. He rolled back to the right, reversed the field. And that's going to bring us up to third down. Third and about 3, do you think, Mick?
Yeah, 3.
Maybe 4.
Maybe. No, yeah, 3 I would say is about right. It's difficult when you're looking long ways on, isn't it? Always look shorter. It's like my putts. They always look easier. That's my excuse anyway, and I'm sticking to it. Okay, so third down, big play for both teams here.
Chester Romans have got no receivers on the right. He's pitched it to the running back, and he's reversed the field. He's got no blocks. And he's down. It's a flag on the play again.
Did you see anything on that one, Howard?
I didn't, but I'm guessing because he reversed the field, there's going to be some form of block in the back or a holding call.
Yeah. You got it. You're getting good at this, aren't you?
I think we'll call it beginner's luck.
Okay.
So that's on number 27, so that's Oliver Willett.
That takes them right back.
And all of a sudden we've gone from
third and three to fourth and a lot.
So remember, no special teams here, and it doesn't matter where they turn the ball over, unless they turn the ball over, the Ipswich Cardinals have to start on their 5-yard line. Oh, sorry, we're going back to third. So we've still got two more goals. But they've had some success running the ball. So number 7 rolls out right, throws it. He's looking for number 27.
It was a little bit too long, wasn't it? So now it's 4th down. It must be reasonably tricky as a quarterback in this position. I mean, we're up on the balcony out of the sun and we're squinting. I certainly am. You know, the quarterback's going to have that right in his face. It can't be easy.
Yeah, I think looks like it's definitely coming down on his eyes. Definitely more than it's going to do the Ipswich lot. So half time they'll have to take the advantage. So 7's going to roll out again. Oh. And he's brought down. And that's going to...
Great tackle.
And there's a flag. It's going to be on 52.
Horse collar. Referee indicated a horse collar.
Again, some ill discipline here. There's no need for that. You're tackling him back on the halfway line. Some of the crowd not happy with that call.
Well, you're always going to get 50% of the crowd not happy with every call, aren't you, really?
But again, it gives them another shot here. And we go back to a 1st down. So this has turned into quite a long drive for the Chester Romans here.
Yeah, it seems to have been going on for quite a bit, doesn't it?
So it'll be interesting to see if they have any defensive rotations here, especially with it being so hot.
Again.
So this time it's gone against Chester Romans, full start. I think it was the wide receiver on this sideline, nearest to the Ipswich sideline.
So that's going to put them way back to halfway.
But still replay down, so we're still on 1st
still only
down.
1st down, yeah. Plenty of time for making the yards. I mean, the Ipswich defence must be starting to flag a little bit now. I don't know what the time is, but we must be into 10 minutes.
Yeah, 10 and a half minutes left, maybe,
Yeah.
I think. So there's an Ipswich player down the backfield who was chasing after the quarterback. Oh, and he's back up again. Number 51. 51 is being subbed off now. So in the regular season for the Chester Romans, there's been a few tournaments that they've been at. First one of the season was down at Doncaster. They came away 22-14 winners over Doncaster. Unfortunately lost to the North East Giants 22-2.
Okay, so we're back 2nd down, just in front of halfway.
He's looking for number 10 in the middle.
Very dangerous throw.
Again, it's battered down.
So that's going to make it 3rd and long.
So that pass was for number 10, who is Alex Baldry.
I knew his dad, Long John.
We were talking to the Chester Romans coaches earlier, and they highlighted him as one of their better players. So number 7 rolls out to the right. It's pushed out of bounds by number 23.
Is it me, or does he like that sideline? He does tend to run there a lot.
It seems as though he looks to see if the route he wants to throw is on. If it's not, he rolls out right.
Right. There's been multiple plays where he's ended up going out of bounds on that right-hand side.
We've had quite a few
not
plays.
Not been to the left at all, has he?
We've had quite a few plays where he's gone to the right for a minimal gain.
Mm-hmm.
But if the defence keep on giving penalties away, then
yeah.
We'll keep marching down the field.
So 4th down.
So we've gone 2 receivers on the left. He rolls right, looks for number 10, who's open, and he catches it. It's a touchdown. It's that man, number 10, Alex Baldry, who we were talking about. Throw by Freddie Long, number 7, and the Chester Romans take the lead.
So you have to ask there, I mean, Mr. Cynical here, why haven't they thrown it before?
Well, I think what they've done is they've set up, they've obviously looked at the defensive line of Ipswich. They've thought they're going to be quick off the mark. They're going to try and bring the pressure. They've calmed them down a little bit with 2 or 3 delayed starts, or they're trying to draw them offside. They've slowed them down, and then now that's kind of opened up the passing game.
Okay, so Chester going for 1 extra point. It's pitched, and no, he's caught. 2 Ipswich defenders there, quite easy. So that makes the score Chester Romans 6, Ipswich Cardinals 0.
And more importantly, it looks like their defence is going to get a rest now.
I think they're ready for one. I think they've earned one.
So let's see what Ipswich have got in their locker, see what they're going to respond with.
So I think every player changed there. I don't think anybody stayed on, did they?
No, I think they all went off.
Yeah, they all went off, yeah. So no one playing both ways. So it should be some.
We've got just over 8 minutes to
blood.
go.
Okay.
So we've got 2 in the backfield and 1 receiver out to the left. And it's going to be a QB run right. It's a good tackle by number 12.
I could help, but the information I've got, there's no number 59 on there, I'm afraid. So we're going to have to remain nameless
looks like
until
he's going to
half
use his
time.
blockers, run left.
He's
Some
gang
good tackling.
tackled.
Some good tackling by the Chester Romans getting there.
Okay, so it's going to be 3rd and about 10.
Oh,
it's intercepted.
It's picked off by number 41, Dan Davenport. And he nearly made it back. Pushed out of bounds with about 3-4 yards to go.
The pick there was by Ethan Turner, who's a 4-year vet. Already had a pick 6 this year. Try and find out who number 59 is at some point. So, chance to get some space between them here.
Hands it off and runs in. And it's another touchdown. This time it's number 39, Dylan Humphreys. So a handoff by the quarterback to the running back, who runs out to the left.
And again, they're going to go for 1.
Slightly smaller drive than the last one from the Chester
Just a little
Romans.
bit. What's your thoughts on the 1.2 point thing? I mean, you probably won't remember the days where in the NFL it always had to be 1.
7 keeps it, goes around the outside, and he gets it.
Yeah, he's given it. So that was 13-0.
So that's Freddie Long again, rolling out to his right-hand side. Seems to be his favourite side.
Okay. So just getting back to that, Howard. Sorry, there, just interrupted on the touchdown. Yeah, when it was just 1 point in the NFL, and they changed it to 2 points now, as in college and here. It just gives coaches more options, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so, and especially with how reliable field goals seem to have been. A lot of teams think it's a given to get one. So if you can get some real good movement on special teams, and then you can block some field goals and force teams to go for two instead of one. I think it's a good dynamic as well.
Well, particularly in the British game where there's not that many good kickers. There's a few, but most teams don't have a kicking game. Ipswich
so number 3's in a quarterback now for Ipswich. 22 gets past one tackle and past another one and a third one, and he's finally held up about 10 yards past the halfway line.
Okay, he's an interesting character. Number 22, Harvey Clements, 6 touchdowns so far this year. He's a member of the London Broncos Academy at Rugby League. So again, it's amazing how many of these kids here today also play rugby.
You can see there how he scored 6 touchdowns. He seems very explosive since he's just come in.
Yeah, they thought they had him and then they didn't, and then they thought they had him again.
Another handoff to 22, and he reverses the field now, this time to the right. And it's a good tackle in the end.
Okay, so number 3 is the starting quarterback, Joe Moore. He's the son of the head coach. Didn't start the first drive. Do you think maybe he didn't do his homework or something? What's the reason for that? Why would you not start? Third place playoff in the national final.
Well, I think 59 was in basically to run the ball. It looked as though the 2 players in the backfield were going to block for him, and I'm assuming they thought he was a better runner than number 3.
I don't buy that. In a final, you put your best players on, surely.
Oh, number 3 had a wide receiver open, waiting for the touchdown. He gets taken down as he rolls to the left. Unless they've seen something from Chester Romans in the game before.
Maybe.
They thought we could exploit it with a running quarterback. So we're 3rd and about 7 here. 2 wide receivers in play. Keeps the ball.
It's wide open in the end zone.
And he's caught it. It's a touchdown. Is that number 85?
He actually had another receiver behind him who was wide open, and the guy catching the ball was
number 85, I think.
85, is it? Jordan Estabrook. He's a rookie. 7 touchdowns so far this year, 1 interception. So it looks like plays both ways. And he's been accepted into Bristol Academy, so
it's good numbers from a rookie.
Yeah, absolutely. And you don't get into Bristol if you're average, do you?
I think it's the beauty of this game as well, isn't it? It allows players who are new to it to flourish. Number 3 rushes up the middle, and it's good. So it looked like it was designed to run to the right there. He's read the blocks of the O-line. He's darted up the middle, untouched.
Spoken like a true O-lineman. Let's give them some love. I thought you were a tight end now, anyway.
No, 1-from-1's good enough for me. I'm going back to O-line.
100%. Best catching ratio in BAFA.
Can only go downhill from here.
For tight ends. So Ipswich going for 1. I beg your pardon, no, that was... Okay.
So he's lost yards there. Looks to be on about the 2-yard line. After that, the handoff to the running back.
The heat's getting to me. So the score is 13-7. Must be close to half time. Difficult to get a time check when we're up here. But Chester bringing the ball. Stopped by number 59.
Looks like a false start on 86. The slot receiver for Chester Romans. That's Connor Crowder. This is the downside of going on 2, Mick. You need to be disciplined yourself.
Yep.
And yes, it can work wonders when it works, but they've got themselves into a bit of a situation here. Needs to be careful of the safety here. So that's the 2-minute warning, Mick.
Okay. So now we're playing proper football, where we can stop the clock. Still 13-7, still anybody's game. Looked like Chester were going to run away with it to start with.
So again, 7 rolls out to the right. I think that's a smart play there. He's avoided giving the safety away. He's just got himself
a couple of yards. Yeah.
Couple of yards, and he's just got out of bounds. So another run up the middle, met close to the line of scrimmage. So now Ipswich are going to get the ball, but all the way back on their own 5.
That is unfortunate, but there we go. That's the rules. I suppose it keeps it interesting. There'd be a lot of scores if you took the ball on the 1 yard line, wouldn't it, every time? So we're close to half time now. We're going to do a couple of interviews that we pre-recorded earlier at half time, and then come back for the second half. As usual, if you can put any comments you want on the YouTube or Facebook links, we'd love to hear your feedback. Want to try and get better?
Or number 3, and then he gets tackled in the end by 72.
And for Mulbert, I think he was down when the ball came out.
Yeah, I think the whistle went, and then he let go of it.
All constructive criticism welcome.
So it's interesting there. The Ipswich Cardinals didn't have a wide receiver on the left-hand side. Yeah, Chester Romans left the cornerback out there.
Right. He's marking nobody, was he?
So just the one running back in the backfield now. 3 keeps it. Good throw off to 83, who shrugs off one challenge. And he gets over halfway.
Okay, so in my notes there, that's number 83, Joe Bates, who's a rookie. And he's, quote, got the biggest hands in the team, probably the world.
That explains how he received that one.
Yeah. And it also says he's not ginger, he's strawberry blonde.
We'll take their word for it.
I bet he's loving the sun.
So timeout taken there, stop the clock. So again, if Ipswich had put two receivers on the right hand side, and Chester have left a corner on the left.
Yeah, marking nobody. Yeah, see what you mean. Yeah.
And he's thrown it up. Ooh, and there's a flag there.
PI.
And he's taking his helmet off.
Let's give it his PI.
And there's another flag. So he's taking his helmet off after he's been PI'd, and now he has to go off the field for a play. Interesting decision there.
Was he PI'd or it wasn't against him, was it?
No, it wasn't against him.
The defender. Yeah. See what the referees give here, although it looks like Ipswich are ready to play. Okay, so
we've got
PI against the defence, and then unsportsmanlike
conduct
for taking his helmet off.
Oh, 83. The wide receiver on the left here went. So it's going to be a false start.
That's the strawberry blonde. Must be the sun.
I think discipline's really killed them so far in this half.
Yeah, I think both teams, to be honest, have been
So 3 looks long again, and that's going to be another PI call there. But it's okay, this time he's kept his helmet on.
I'm not so sure about this one. What's your view on that, Howard?
So I'm assuming it's going to be a defensive pass interference.
Do you think it was right? It looked okay to me.
I think there was a lot of contact
General
on it.
consensus is that it was right, and I'm wrong, as always. Okay. Coaches will always give it. Yeah, especially the OC. Yeah. It's supposed to be a contact sport, isn't it? That should get some comments.
I mean, I'm all for it. I'm not sure the wide receivers will be too happy about that comment, Mick.
No. Well, you know, they're only little guys, aren't they?
So that puts them back on first down. Three's dancing his way through, and he escapes one tackle. Not the second and third. He's going to be just short, and it's another timeout.
Jinking and jiving a bit there, wasn't he?
So he's had some success throwing the ball, and I think Chester Romans have had to respect that, which opens up a lot of space now for him to run into.
Again, I go back to my original comment, Howard. You know, they seem to be moving the ball with this guy, the number 3, Joe Moore. Why not start with him? Is there something we don't know? Coaches out there, give me a logical reason, please.
I'm being told, Mick, that he hurt his hand in the first game.
Okay, well there you go. That makes sense. That's very logical. I can.
Not 100% sure on the authenticity of the source.
What's the basis of your research on that one?
I've just been told by someone.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Someone who claims to be in the know.
Yeah, a known informer.
So we're 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2.
Yeah, it looks pretty close, doesn't it? Even less than 1, I would say. It
doesn't look to be any interior D-linement, so they've handed the ball off to number 29, and he goes straight up the A-gap. So here we go, we're going to go for the extra point for Ipswich to take the lead before the half.
That was number 29, Ethan Turner. So that puts the scores level.
It's currently level, yeah.
Yeah. This one for Ipswich to take the lead.
And he's received it. Oh! And it's saying incomplete. Looks like the ball's came loose as he hit the ground there. And that's the half. So it's 13 all so far.
Makes it an interesting second half. Keeps the viewers happy.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if the discipline changes after their team talks at half time, or if they come back the same. I think Ipswich have looked quite dangerous throwing the ball around. Chester, on the other hand, have looked pretty dangerous when they're running it. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, it certainly looked like Chester were going to just take it, quite easily, but Ipswich have come back strong and all to play for. Should be an interesting second half. Okay, I think we're going to go to some ads now, and then we've got some interviews after that. We'll see you for the second half.
Traveling this holiday season, you are going to want to get this, guys. Check this out. This is the homing pin. 1%. Now, this seems like a low number to me. 1% of all bags carried by airlines are misplaced. That seems really low. Anyway, yeah, exactly right. For a family of 5, traveling twice a year means 20% chance of losing your bags.
Now, Homing Pin provides travelers with baggage loops with tags, key rings, and stickers that have a unique tracking number. Homing Pin labels can also be attached to cell phones, laptops, cameras, and passports.
That's right. You can get a 15-piece standard pack for $20 or a 5-piece starter pack for only $10 at homingpin.com. Now, we spoke about this a couple weeks ago with our tech expert, Nika Allen. So if you want to get a recap on that as well, head over to casa.com. But really, really great stuff, because it will locate, regardless of where it is, it will locate your bag. So you don't have to rely on the airline saying, well, we don't know where your bag is. You can say, you know what, I'm going to do you one better. It's right here, I can tell.
I can tell. Can you imagine that, like, flying into the Sunport and be like, my bag is in Miami?
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
I'm joined by Northeast Academy head coach Ben Johnson,
Hi, Mick.
affectionately known
It's Coach Johnson.
as Coach Johnson. We'll move on from that.
Thanks, Howard.
We're just at half time now in the third place game. You got through this morning by beating Ipswich 21-12.
Yep.
What was your summary of the game?
I think it was we had too many missed assignments, some mental lapses that meant that the game was much closer than we'd hoped. We got out to an early lead, and then we were struck by an injury from a cut block, which isn't allowed at this level. Not that I'm bitter. So hopefully Oli Basanko gets well soon.
Is he out for the final?
He is. He's gone straight off to hospital. It's a knee injury. We want to make sure that we're being safe.
Yeah.
But we're hoping to get a lot of interest out of the GB setup in Ollie, because he's doing great things with Newcastle Falcons.
No, I was going to say, now Ollie's one of these rugby converts, isn't he?
He is.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's been leading the way. He came up from U17 this year. I think he was averaging over 100 yards on the ground and was an absolute force at U17 at linebacker. Then he's come straight up to U19 and continued in the same thing, playing a lot of DN for us, but also some H and is great in all phases of the game. So it's a bit of a blow to not have him in the final, but we've got some guys who can really step up, who've been working for half a season since they joined, and they're fairly wet behind the ears, but
Yeah.
bags of talent.
Well, you've always worked on this next man up philosophy, haven't you? So here's a perfect example of where it's going to kick in.
Absolutely. I think all year we focused on, rather than trying to run gadget plays and get cheap wins, what we focused on is making sure that we're operating with actual football schemes, so that the guys can go on, and whether it's go to university and try and get a scholarship there to reduce the cost of the university, as that's always going up now, or it's to join the GB program, maybe go out into Europe. And I know this is a personal topic of contention for yourself, but go out into Europe, or hopefully by the time some of these guys grow up, maybe there's a semi-pro market here as well. So
Yeah, I don't think it's an issue that they go to Europe. People are going to go where they get the best quality of play. My issue with it is
and
that they should be
coaching as well.
Yeah, absolutely. They should be able to do it in this country.
I would
they
really like to
currently
see that as a development. I can understand why players go out there, because it's actualizing your own value.
Yeah.
And there's guys who put in years and years of developing the craft, developing the physical presence, and it's only right. And I think Ollie is one of the guys. We've probably got 4 or 5 guys who we're looking at now who could do something outside of the club once they hit a certain age. So.
All right, we're going to have to cut it there, Coach, because we're back ready for the second half. No, it's good to see you. Maybe we'll see you before the next game.
Maybe.
Thank you.
What question did you want?
Okay, well, sorry about that little lapse there. We didn't realise the timings.
Is that the same Ben Johnson that's linked with the Newcastle Vikings head coach role next year?
I couldn't possibly comment.
Sorry, Northumberland Vikings.
I still call them the Newcastle Vikings.
It must be a different guy.
You mean there's more than one Ben Johnson?
I heard the other one's better.
He's definitely faster.
Okay, so let's
Oh,
get
it's a
back in the
reverse.
game. It's reverse.
And he's broken through five tackles there. Second.
You may have just given us a UKFL exclusive there, Howard. I don't think it's common knowledge about the Vikings, but there we go. He's told the team, so that's all that matters. Okay, back in the game. Joe Moore, and it's handed off, and this looks like an easy run-in touchdown for number
29.
Ethan Turner with his second touchdown of the game, giving Ipswich the lead, 19-13.
So Ipswich have come out firing in the second half.
Yeah, they certainly look a different team from that first drive, although you can't really judge them on the defence, I suppose, could you? The first offensive drive, I mean.
QB keeps
This time he
it, throws
fakes
out
it.
to his right, throws it, and it's caught by number 29. So clinical so far from Ipswich.
I think they mean business this half, Howard.
So let's see what the Chester Romans have got to respond to that.
So while we've got a change of possession, just a reminder that on the 7th of September, live from Druids Park, Newcastle, we've got the BAFA North Division 2 final between the Holton Spartans and the Inverclyde Goliaths. Be live streaming via the normal channels. Hopefully have our full commentary team back. You won't be stuck with me.
Or me.
Well, you know, I think we like to treat the viewers occasionally, Howard. And
So
looks
he
like it
seems
might
to
be a
have-
hurt here.
Looks to be his left shoulder. Don't know if it was twisted on his way down or if it's the impact on the ground.
So medic is on the field.
So just a quick word on the Chester Romans then while we're waiting for the injury to be looked at. So no, you've spoken to Will Sargent, who's the head coach of the Romans Academy previous to the to today. So he said that this year seems to be the most successful of seasons that the club's had. I think that's the youth and the junior teams both making it to their respective finals.
Yeah, I think that in itself is an achievement. You know, we both know from our close association with the North East Academy how difficult that is.
Yeah.
To get both levels in, you know, often you get
Often
one or the other.
Yeah, one normally kind of supersedes the other one,
Yeah.
and you end up stealing players from that one to play in the other one.
Yeah. That's an
Yeah,
achievement.
and
That's
also
an
the
achievement.
success of the NFL Schools Flag Tournament, a great way to finish the year for the Chester Romans. And I think there's quite a few of these who are going on to play senior football with universities and also some academies. So it seems to be looking good for the Chester
Well,
Romans.
it's a stepping stone, isn't it? And I think we previously had a gap where players couldn't play for a year before going to senior, and you know, we've filled that now.
And Seven picks up the loose snap and he rolls out to the left. He must have been listening to your commentary first half, Mick.
Well, it's good coaching, isn't it? Let's be honest. We're here to observe and report.
So the Chester Romans, they're starting to take players in from 12 years of age. They go through the youth and junior squads, and then they've got a competitive senior squad as well that we've seen last year at Druid Park for the
That's right, they
Div
were in
2
the
final.
Div 2 final. Yeah, that's right, against Aberdeen.
So it's another hard count again by Chester Romans. Also, it's false start there on Chester Romans. I think this tournament's quite good, isn't it, in a sense, to show how competitive the teams are across the north and south.
Yeah. You need a national winner. I was talking earlier with the Black Country Vikings GM, who was saying that if there was no 7v7, these guys wouldn't be playing, and that's a crying shame. So we've got to compliment the people that put it, made it happen and put it in place. And whilst it's not ideal, 7v7 does get some criticism, at least the lads can play.
So a key thing about the pitch, obviously, it's a lot narrower than a normal pitch, a lot smaller lengthwise than a normal pitch. It kind of gives a distorted view into, especially from the defensive side, the offensive side. Sorry, it's a lot harder to get that horizontal displacement, because the pitch is so narrow.
Oh, now you're using big words, Howard.
Oh, and it's picked off here. And number 50 makes a good tackle in the end, but it's another pick by number 35 for the Ipswich Cardinals.
Don't have a 35, I'm afraid. Can't help you. It's a shame, because I think he's played well. He's had a couple of times where we would have called his name. But yeah, that's a big play for the Ipswich defence.
Especially when we needed to see what the answer was going to be from Chester. I know they started the game pretty strong.
Yeah, and if you look at the Chester players now, their body language is sort of looking a bit.
Well, now
down.
all of a sudden the Ipswich team have, they've got the ball with 10 yards to go, and they're on a first down. So it's hand off to the running back. It's a good tackle by number 10.
That's your man.
Number 10, Alex Baldry. Good tackle there to bring up second down. Looks for the quick pass, the bubble, and he makes it. Let's give in. It's number 85.
85's your man Jordan Estabrook. This is the lad that's a rookie. I think that's his second TD today. Sounds like a bit of a find, that lad.
I think the body language of the Chester Rome players now seems to have gone down a little bit.
Yeah, I think they look beaten, don't they? I mean, it must be difficult coming off a 40-0 semi-final defeat to get ahead and then have it clawed back so quickly, and it's red hot out there.
He throws it to 85 again. The conversion's good.
So that takes the score to Ipswich Cardinals 27, Chester Romans 13. We've still got quite a bit of time left, I think. We must be 12 minutes left. This could get a bit tasty. So don't forget, after this game, there'll be a separate stream for the final. Links are in the usual places on the UKFL page, the BAFA website page, and individual teams for the final. All four of these teams have got the links on their pages. And that will come up slightly later at about 3:30 now, we're told, because of the delay in the first game. and that will be between the Black Country Vipers and the Northeast Academy. Should be a hell of a game. We've just had a look at a thermometer here, and it's 29 degrees, and we're in the shade. It'd be nice. It'd be nice to know how hot it is out there. It must be at least 4 or 5 degrees hotter.
So they've gone for the hard count again, and unfortunately it hasn't worked for them, Chester. It's going to be a false start on them. I certainly wouldn't want to have pads and a helmet on right now. 29 degrees here.
No.
7 keeps a hold of it, and he manages to stay out of his own end zone there.
That was close.
So that brings up 3rd down.
That was number 94, Joe Mingay. And it's his first year with the Cardinals, but it's 6th year playing as a junior. Is that possible? That must mean junior and youth, surely. Or maybe he's 23.
Oh, and that pass was on. 86 was away. If he caught that, just a little bit in front of him. So that's going to bring up 4th down. There wasn't a lot of pressure there on the quarterback. I think the defense know that there's a long way to go here for them to get a 1st down. Just playing a bit more passive.
There's almost an argument that they're just winding the clock down now. Or am I being a little bit cruel?
I think
it's only 2 scores, isn't it?
I think the Ipswich team will want to get back on their offense. Oh, and Snelly picked off by number 59, but it goes down as incomplete. So now the Ipswich offense are back on the field.
So we've got around 9.5 minutes left. Ipswich offense on the field. Surely another score is going to win this game for them, Howard.
Yeah, I think one more and it makes it extremely difficult for
And
the Chester Romans to
take
get
time
back
off
in.
the clock as well.
Although saying that, if the Chester Romans were to pick them off here and to run round to the left, and he's out of bounds. And there we go. I was about to say extremely lucky to not get a flag there for hit out of bounds, but
that was a little bit harsh. It was momentum took him through, I think. It's hard to pull out when you're going that fast. But what do I know?
Well, the flag's been thrown, so
that's another 10 yards added to the run, which should take them reasonably close to the Chester Romans end zone with a 1st down.
he throws it long, and it's incomplete. Just a little bit short, that pass there. Looking for number 80 in the end zone.
Number 80 is Matthew Smith. He's a rookie. Another convert from rugby. There's a number of them in all 4 teams today. It's a great area for recruitment.
So he rolls out to the left here. Number 3, and he cuts back inside. And it's another touchdown for Ipswich. That's surely got to be the final nail in the coffin for the Chester Romans, Mick.
Never say never, but yeah, I fear the worst. I think that's probably the icing on the cake. That's 3 scores now with 7 minutes, 8 minutes left. Still plenty of time, but you know, it would be a hell of a comeback if they were to do it. And if you just look at their demeanour and their body language, they certainly don't look up for it. But it's been a long, hard day. It's hard to criticise
But
them.
you know, Ipswich have come down from their 5-yard line in 3 or 4 plays. So it can be done.
Yep.
And number 3. Oh, and there's some afters here between 21-57. And there's some punches being thrown here.
Well, you know, I
So
know
it appeared number 21 wasn't too happy about something that was going on.
I'm going to be careful how I have this conversation with you, Howard, because, you know, history and all that. But I know it can be difficult. It's an aggressive game. It can get heated at times, but surely in a situation like this, you've got to keep your cool. You're just going to cost your team the odds.
Well, I think, look, it's interesting. The game's gone, essentially, for the Chester Romans.
Yeah, you can
You know,
you can sort of understand that, but you know.
But there's no need for it. I think he's probably more disappointed in himself than anything. Number 21.
So I think we had an ejection on both sides in the first game, didn't we? The first semi-final.
Yeah, that was between the
Chester
Romans,
and Black Country, yeah. So I'm guessing the rules would dictate that he couldn't play in this game. Maybe someone can correct that. And this would probably be a second ejection now. He seems to be taking his kit off, so I think
he's definitely appeared to throw some sort of punch. I know the Ipswich guy who was with him had a hold of his face cage. Don't entirely know what's
before or after. Not that it makes any difference, but you know.
I think tempers have just got a little high.
Yeah.
The temperature's definitely not helping matters. So let's see how the referees call it.
No. I think I'm going to be losing my temper with you soon. It's way too hot. Way too hot. We could be sat at home now having a barbie and a cold beer.
I was thinking the same, Mick.
But wouldn't you sooner be at football?
I'll tell you at the end.
Okay. Well, just while we're waiting for this little break, we mentioned earlier about the Division 2 North final that will be held at Druids Park on Saturday the 7th of September. It's pretty much the wrap up of the BAFA season. Next weekend we've got all the other finals. That will be the Junior Div 1. Just 1 second for the referee. It's just confirmation that number 21 for Chester is disqualified for the game. So just getting back, next weekend is the remainder of the BAFA finals. We've got Saturday morning. They're all at River Stadium or Riverside Stadium, is it, in Tottenham. The first one is the Junior Division 1 final, which I believe is the London Blitz against East Kilbride Pirates. So that's an early start for the Scottish lads. And then in the afternoon, it's the Division 1 national final between Sandwell Steelers and Solent Thrashers. Then the following day, Div 2 final, South. Followed by the Prem final. Just seems like we're getting back here. So the Div 2 final is the South Wales Warriors against the Bournemouth Bobcats. And the Prem final, of course, is the London Warriors against Tamworth Phoenix.
So this puts the Chester Romans in a real difficult position here to start the game.
Well, you
to
saw
start the drive,
you saw
sorry.
the Ipswich
Not the
players mimicking a safety here, so I think that's what they're looking for.
Oh, number 10 tips it up. So number 7 was looking for the quick pass out to number 10. Fortunately, he couldn't grab it.
Minutes left.
So it's carried out by number 39.
Chester struggling to move the ball now. Looks like the Ipswich defence have got their number. And if you just look at the two sidelines, just the Ipswich are up for it and slapping each other, and
Yeah, I think that's been
Chester
the big shift in momentum, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Since Chester went up, rather than keeping their foot down, going for more, they've kind of eased off a little bit. Or I don't know whether Ipswich seem to have booked their ideas up and got their discipline sorted. So 7 rolls out right. He looks for the options and he throws away. Oh, number 23 close to picking the ball off there. But also, good escape by number 7 there on the right-hand side. Nearly got taken down in his own end zone for a safety.
So, I mean, earlier in the game we talked about squad size, and you made the very valid point, Howard, that you still have the same number of players on the field at any one time. But if you look now to the Chester sideline, there's about 3 players that aren't involved in the game or injured. And you look on the Ipswich side, there's about 20. That must have an effect.
So that's going to be a false start on the offense. So the left guard there, false start. So no one deep here. And he hands it off to 39 and he's standing around and he manages to get out, head down. And that's the end of the 4th down. So the Chester Romans defence will be back on the field. I've just heard the defensive coordinator saying we'll need 2 of you, so I'm assuming that's 2 guys coming from offense over to defense.
I'm guessing so, yeah.
Again, highlighting that squad numbers. And
it has to affect the game, has to.
I think this is a good situation to analyse though as well, to decide whether some teams on or don't have the squad size to go up to 9v9.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of teams in the past have gone up too early.
Yep.
And that's just meant that games have been forfeited. And at the end of the day, you want to be playing football. So
absolutely, yeah.
Going back to it, 7 on 7, although it's not ideal, it's certainly better than not playing at all.
Yeah, and I think again I'm going to get on my high horse here, and whilst junior football has progressed somewhat in the last few years, it still needs a lot more focus, in my opinion. And for example, why senior teams are allowed to play without a junior and youth academy is beyond me. I just cannot see the reason for that, the reason for allowing it even. And if you look at the successful senior teams, most of them have an academy or are linked with an academy in some way. And you'll know from playing for the Vikings this year, you've got players that have come up from the academy. So Josh Penny would be a prime example of a lad who's been playing initially at Woodham and then graduating to the Northeast Academy 3 years ago, to the Vikings senior team almost seamlessly. I suppose it helps him playing for Sterling as well. But it's that pathway, isn't it, Howard, where it just allows them to play football from 12, 13-year-old all the way up to, your age, 35.
Steady on, Mick. No, I think traditionally, I think a lot of people have got into playing American football at university, and then they've kind of developed their skills over the 3-4 years, whatever, and then gone on to play for a senior team.
But is that enough? Is that enough time to start playing a sport like
I don't
this
think so.
At age 19, 20?
No, I think this is definitely a better path. I think, like you were talking about, the big teams or the most successful teams. East Kilbride Pirates. They've got a fantastic junior program, and then this year when they've come down to Div 1 from the Prem, and it's the Kiwis kept it, and he's straight through the middle. He's gone out of bounds, but picked up that vital first down. Sorry, as I was saying, they've come down out of the Premiership. They've come into Div 1.
Yeah.
They've relied heavily on the players that have graduated from their youth program. The 18, 19, 20-year-old players who have been playing for so long, and you can then start to depend on that.
Well, you've got
quality.
You've got your nucleus there already for the next season, haven't you?
It's all about building,
and the ones that are coming, that become 19 plus. We've got. Right, we're back to first down.
So again, the quarterback looks to roll out left, and he throws it looking for 85. Interesting, no PI call there on 29.
Yeah, I was.
Did have a hold of his arm there.
Yeah. I was wondering why, but there we go. The referee's closer than we are.
So I know the final was scheduled to start 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, I think because of the delay in the first game between Chester and Black Country, there's a knock-on effect. So I'm guessing we're going to probably be close to 4 o'clock.
Yeah, just for those of you who are waiting to tune in to watch the final.
Actually, no, maybe not, because both of the teams playing in the final have rested, so there may not be a huge delay. But certainly it's not going to be 3 o'clock or 3:30.
So it goes to the quick pass out to 85. And he cuts back inside, and he's in. Again, number 85.
That's Jordan Estabrook again. That's his 3rd touchdown from my reckoning. Got to be a candidate for MVP, Howard.
He seems to be the go-to receiver, doesn't he?
Yeah. And he's just a rookie, so that's a good player there.
So I think that's the 2-minute warning called there from the referees.
Okay, I'm guessing neither team's going to want to do anything too clever here.
So we're going for the extra point. And he goes deep for 85, and it's too deep, out the back.
Yeah, refs called it as uncatchable. which I think was a fair assessment on that one. Score now is Ipswich 40, Chester 13. Into the 2-minute warning.
So what seemed to be quite a close encounter.
Yeah, it
has
didn't
turned
end that
pretty
way.
one-sided.
Yeah, it's certainly a game of two halves, wasn't it? It just seemed that once Ipswich caught them up at 13 each, it sort of never looked back from there, really. Took the heart out of Chester.
I hope you put some sunscreen on there, Mick.
My fair skin doesn't need it. Just my head.
That's what I was worried about.
Yeah. Well, you know, grass doesn't grow on a busy street. So, in the final 2 minutes, no doubt on who the game's going to. Need to start thinking about an MVP. Howard, who's caught your eye?
I think there's been a few candidates. I think the quarterback for Ipswich,
Number 3, Joe Moore.
he seems to have changed the game since he's come on.
Yep.
But I don't think you can really look any further than number 85, can you?
Yeah, he's
Seems to be the go-to
no,
man.
I think you're right. I think considering that he's a rookie, 3 touchdowns in the game. I think it's got to be.
And that's the game.
That's the game.
So Ipswich have taken the 3rd, 4th place game. It's a valiant effort from the Chester Romans.
Yeah, they never gave up, but
they played well at the start of the game. I think, as you link to the squad size is small, maybe the fatigue kind of came in, especially on a hot day like today. But to get here anyway is an achievement. So congratulations to Ipswich.
Okay, I think we're going to wrap it up for now. Go to some adverts, and we will be back on a separate stream, which will start as soon as possible. We don't have an exact time, I'm afraid, because of the first game that was delayed. We are running a little bit behind schedule. I don't anticipate it being too long. It looks like both teams are ready.
They've been warming up for a while.
So we'll go to some adverts, and we'll hope to join you in a few minutes.